existing projects that are happening to support that. Thanks, Ian.
Okay, so my name's Ian Bocock from Incredible Education. I've spent the last 50 plus odd years living as a Salford resident, so I know green spaces well across Salford, but my journey I suppose started more recently in 2013 when I launched Incredible Edible Salford, for which now Sandra is one of those leading beacons within that movement. But Incredible Education, we've spent the last 4 years developing our work within green spaces. So on the slides behind you'll see examples of the work that we currently do. And as you just alluded to there, Deb, we partner with lots of people within this room on some of the projects that we deliver. So you'll see on the slide we mentioned about outdoor spaces and some of the larger spaces. So the top left hand side is our forest school experience, which is delivered at the new plantation, which is within Worsley Woods, if those people who know that sort of location. This year we're working with 7 primary schools, so they are funded through the NHS, CCG's, Healthy Schools funds, majority of them. So we're working with partnership, say this year with 7, and with regards to that expansion of that 10%, there are additional schools that will come on board for that. We also use Blackleach Country Park. Again, I don't know how many people are familiar with that space, but again, it's an amazing location. So schools in the what we might call the sort of deprived, marginalised areas of the city, and the children that actually access that sort of facility are those kids that will benefit from that. So those that may not be performing too well at school, they may be the children that are in the background, but they excel. And I think from a point of view, Michelle was talking about the evaluation that's been done, and it just occurred to me earlier on in the conversations about 10% in the case studies. Does the information that goes back into the evaluations that we fill in as part of what the funding, does that feed back into this 10%? Because I know that Judith and our team on Forest School have done some amazing case studies, which I think we need to make sure that that gets reported back on as well, because our question has always been, what happens to those evaluations when we send them in? That's just sort of something that's popped into my head while I'm stood up here. Bottom left, you can see one of our many gardening groups, and again from a 10% point of view, and I know, so Sam's from Inspiring Communities Together, so we're doing a lot of work with Inspiring Communities Together. We are now into about our 3rd year of working with the organisation, and Michelle and the university have done some research and evaluation on the projects that we've done and have produced some brilliant reports that support that. We're currently working with 6 of our existing groups, and this is a 12-month project. And the guys you can see there are at Swindon Civic Lawns. For those who don't know, this weekend is Salford's big day out, so if you are doing nothing on Saturday, come down to Salford. I bet you're doing nothing, aren't you, on Saturday?
Yeah.
So the RHS is going to be there. There's going to be lots of other organisations that are related to outdoor activities. So I think it's 11 till 4 on Saturday. So come on down to the Civic Centre and you'll come and say hello to everybody down there. Another example that we have as well is the bottom slide is the students that we work with. So we work with quite a few students from different organisations. So we work with the Oakwood Academy, New Park High School, the Canterbury Centre. These are organisations that work with the kids that have either got additional needs, pupil referral units, so some of the mental health units and behavioural unit. And the students have an opportunity to practice their skills within a real setting so that they can appreciate that when they're sowing seeds in trays or pricking out seedlings and they become plants, that actually it's a useful activity, and again leads on to real opportunities of employment. The other things to mention with regards to sort of a particular case study, and if you go onto our website, onto our Facebook posts most recently, there's a lovely video in there of a gentleman called Jim, who's one of our greener lifestyle group who are based down at the Salford Littleton Road, Salford Sports Village. A lovely piece about, he now lives in sort of residential setting. He had a garden, doesn't have a garden anymore, and it's lovely to hear his story about how that has impacted and changed his life, and he's made really good friends in the last sort of 6 months he's been there. So this group is going from 6 to 12 in April, so again that's, is that 50% if the maths ain't good? So a massive increase on that. And the other thing I'd like to say at this point is we're looking at a new site in Salford, so we're being supported jointly by the university to do some investigations in that space and working closely with Salford City Council and also with Salford Community Leisure because it's very close to one of their locations. To do that, we need the support of the people of Salford, and at this point I'm saying to the whole of the room, it doesn't have to be you, but if you know of somebody who would like to come and join us on our board, either as a trustee or as a director of our community interest company, we're looking to recruit at the moment, because for us to take that next step we need to have people who are going to be critical of us to make sure that what we are doing is going to work and is going to be sustainable, beyond at which point I hope to some point retire. So, some statistics on the right hand side, you can multiply those out by the numbers of kids that come to each session, but in the 4 years that we've been operating, we've seen a year-on-year increase of those that are involved in green spaces. Thank you.
Thank you.